Should you go on a dirty bulk? All right. Should you go McDonald's and go Five Guys or wherever the hell, Chinese fast food, and start stuffing your face, and start ballooning up? All right. So a lot of people, when they're trying to gain weight, they're trying to build muscle and get bigger, whatever. They go on a bulk. All right, which is what you need to do, and obviously to gain weight. But there's the lean bulk and there's the dirty bulk. All right. And I want to talk about in this video which one you guys should pick of these two strategies, and the details of it, because I've kind of done both, and just sharing my thoughts. So when I first started out, I am naturally a hard gainer. I am naturally a skinny guy. I did not grow up jacked. I did not grow up fat. I grew up very skinny. I like to run around a lot, so I was kind of lean, I guess for a kid. But I was very skinny though, especially compared to my classmates and stuff. I never really cared about looking skinny and stuff like that, but I did care about being strong though. And as I got older, I realized, I should probably get a little bit bigger, pack on, just for the sake of like getting stronger, and filling out the shirt, all that stuff. So I went on a bulk, right? And my first bulk, if I had to classify it, it was probably more of a dirty bulk, because I got a little bit fluffy towards the end, and I did not exactly count my calories. I was just eating like fucking high calorie foods, all right? Burgers, fast food, takeout, all that shit. And a lot of people are going to tell you that dirty bulking, it does not work, it's not worth it, you're just going to become a fat fuck and this and that. And I would say for the most part, for most people, dirty bulking is probably not worth it, except if you were in my situation. All right, if you are a skinny guy, you've been skinny your whole life, you've never been fat, all right, and you always had trouble putting on weight, you might be tight on money, and you're a beginner to all this stuff, you might not have time to meal prep everything. Like, going on a dirty bulk, simply means that you're a bit more flexible with what you eat, and you're just eating more than you probably need to gain weight, all right, which probably means you're going to be eating a lot of fast food and this and that. And I definitely think you should not eat fast food that often, but if you're a beginner, you have a hard time getting weight, and if you're a young guy, this is probably, to be honest, like the best time of your life where you actually can do a dirty bulk and not get completely fat as fuck. You still can recover it when you cut, and being able to see that progress in the beginning of your training career is very important. You don't want to be that guy that's I'm talking to all the hard gainers here that are just going to the gym, 135 pounds, and they're afraid of getting fat, they're afraid of going a real bulk, and then they just spin their wheels for a year plus, and they don't make much gains, if at all. And then you're still lean, but fucking you barely made any progress. I'd rather have that guy go on a dirty bulk, get a little bit fatter than they need to get, but make a lot more gains in the process, because you can always cut back the fat. You might have to go on a cut, and that might not feel the best, but you gotta make some kind of sacrifice, right? That is on a dirty bulk. This is the dirty bulk I would only recommend for people that are seriously having trouble gaining weight. It will give you the ability to be a little bit more flexible, and just stuff your face and stuff like that. And for a lot of people, a dirty bulk might not be easy. You're gonna have to eat a lot, even though these are high calorie fast foods. You might have to force feed sometimes still. You might have to do liquid meals still. A big part of bulking, getting stronger, training hard, and making progress is eating. All right, a lot of people, not just for weight loss, a lot of weight gain too. A lot of people don't know how to eat to gain weight too. They underestimate the amount that they need to eat. You need to eat a lot of fucking food, all right? So dirty bulking is for people that have a hard time gaining weight. Now, for everybody else, definitely do a regular ass lean bulk, all right? Don't shoot too high with the calorie surplus. I would recommend maybe 250, 300, all right? Aim to gain no more than a pound per week, 0.5 to 1 pound per week of body weight, all right, if you're trying to lean bulk. This is especially true if you're like you put on fat easily, all right. If you're already a fat guy, don't even think about bulking in general, just go on a cut, all right. But if you're like an average dude, you know, you're trying to put on muscle, that's your main goal, do a lean bulk, all right. You don't need to go dirty bulk and become a fat fuck, all right. You're already kind of fat, so just do a lean bulk, all right. So most of that weight gain is actual muscle tissue, all right. And it will teach you to track your calories, track your macros, you know, and track your nutrition correctly, because eventually you're going to be doing a lean bulk anyways. Even for hard gainers, you're not going to be dirty bulking for the rest of your life. You're not going to be dirty bulking, going on a mini cut and then dirty bulking again, you know. Dirty bulking is only maybe like a one-time thing, really, you know. You don't really like do dirty bulking and then keep doing dirty bulking after you cut, you know. That just defeats the point of it. So lean bulking is the standard way to go for most people, all right. Like it's the healthiest way, it's the most sustainable way, and it's just better, you know, because after a certain point, after you've been training for a couple years, a dirty bulk is just gonna make you like way too fat. You're not gonna gain like extra muscle, like substantially extra muscle than you would from a lean bulk. You'll get extra fat, you know. And in certain scenarios that might be good if you know, if you need to be extra heavy, extra cushioned up. But for the general, like when in grand scheme of things, being leaner is probably gonna be better though. You're gonna be healthier, you're gonna look better, you're gonna have better cardio, you know, your blood pressure's not gonna be over the roof, and you know, if you have a decent amount of muscle on you, you still be very strong and athletic. So those are my opinions for, you know, the bulking strategies: lean bulking, dirty bulking. Let me know in your comments below what else you guys want me to talk about relating to fitness or self-improvement, and I'll see you all in the next video.